Okay, Rahul. So we'll start your interview. Introduce yourself.
Sir, I'm Rahul Sharma. I was born and raised in city named Kathal in Haryana. I did my basic education from there only. Thereafter, I did my electronics and communications engineering from Thapar University, Patiala. After my graduation, I started preparing for civil services, and for the past 2.5 years, I have been into this field. And apart from my academic performance so far, I have an interest in reading books, generally biographies, autobiographies, mostly related to historical aspect. I like to watch certain TV series, mostly political, and I like to travel a bit as well. Overall, I see myself as an optimistic individual who has a sense of duty towards the society and the country, and that's what I expect to do in my future.
Okay. Rahul, as you have mentioned that you have done your graduation in 2020, right?
Right, sir.
That was in EC,
Electronics, yes.
right? Then you started preparing for the civils.
Yes.
Why didn't you opted for to get a job in ECC as you have knowledge accumulated over the period of 4 years?
Yes, sir. Obviously, sir, as an engineer, there are opportunities to pursue career in field that you have studied. But during the course of my graduation, I developed a habit of reading a bit, and I got to know about certain people, individuals, and I had those sort of experiences that my abilities, including my technological abilities, would be quite suitable in order to serve the country in a much better way. I would have got a good profession being in technology or corporate, but I thought that my abilities would be better used when I'm serving the people and the duty towards the society.
Okay. As the prime motive was to serve the nation and to you want to be a public servant, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can also do that by why didn't you opt for the Indian Engineering Services? Why only civils?
Uh, because in being in a being a civil servant, you get much more access and much more opportunities to serve the largest aspects. Being an engineer in engineering services, the domain would have been quite limited, although it is also a major platform to serve the country. But being a civil servant, you get lots of opportunities, new avenues to tackle the situations, being part of the civil society itself. So that is the reason that I opted for this specifically.
Supposedly that you are giving interview for that CA, supposedly that you won't get the FDM executive, right? You might get any of the right services. Then also your domain will be very specific.
It is going to be specific in certain ways, sir, but there will be much more connection with the actual aspects of the society, and plus there is an opportunity to get better opportunities in future as well, because promotions are there, and if you do well, if you work properly, I believe that there is much more scope being in civil job compared to an engineering one.
Okay. My second question to you is that have you heard about the UCC?
Uniform Civil Code, yes.
Yes. Okay. So do you think that it is the correct time to implement this in India?
Sir, as UCC has been part of the directive principles of the state policy, it was considered at that time that during independence, after independence, that was not the perfect time. But perfect time, according to me, is right now. But there is a need to ensure that all the views of all the stakeholders, not only all religions, but also all the tribal communities, which have their own ritual aspects, cultural beliefs, should be taken into consideration. And after a wider social debate as well as discussion, there should be a development on UCC, according to me, and it is the need of the hour.
It is the need of the hour. Okay. Recently, India became successful in landing its rover on the southern pole of the moon. So, how it will benefit India in on a very international level or the other things? How it will benefit India?
So there are multilateral levels of benefits that are considered for India. First of all, in scientific domain, it will boost the scientific ecosystem as well as the morale of the scientists to perform much more, find new projects, new opportunities, new horizons, and it will delegitimize the monopoly of the Western space agencies that have been dominating the space sector. Apart from that, there will be opportunities in terms of economic sense as well. we will be able to make sure that other countries also give us new projects, and economically the agencies like ISRO, NSIL, they are getting new projects, so that economic benefits would be ensured. We will be able to export our space technology to the upcoming agencies like which are working in UAE, Singapore, or all the emerging countries which are also developing their space program. And as far as educational opportunities are also concerned, students, when they see that they have the country has made a streak in science, they get the sort of motivation. Let's do this again. Let's put more efforts. So I think there are multi benefits that are available for India in the international domain. It will boost the superpower image of India, and it will be crucial when India puts its ideas in front of the world, that it will be taken seriously.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Hello, Rahul. So, can you tell me about Durkheim's idea about suicides?
Durkheim studied suicide, and he gave the idea that suicide is a social fact, not a psychological one. That was the central theme after his research. Durkheim considered suicide to be any sort of action, positive or negative, voluntary or involuntary, that leads to the death of the individual. He studied various societies through various variables in terms of age, gender, religion, and he found out that a certain rate of suicide is common in every society, and there are social currents integrating as well as differentiation factors that leads to the increase and decrease of suicide rate in various societies at certain points of time.
Okay, so can you extrapolate what Durkheim has given over the current Indian society, and can you tell me a few factors that has led to suicides among the youth?
If we consider the factors, the social currents that were provided by Durkheim in, for example, anomic, when there is lack of integration. So because of the rise in nuclear families, the connection that youngsters used to have with the grandparents, the experiences that they used to have, these are diminishing, especially in the metropolitan areas. Also because of the migration for studies, students generally go to higher education in far off places. So there is a lack of communication as well. They generally rely much more on peer groups, and because of the fluidity of the peer groups, because of the communication technology, social media, there is a lack of cohesion. So I think that is one of the reasons for the rise in suicide rate among the youngsters these days.
What do you understand by e-governance?
E-governance is a sort of government model in which electronics and communication technology is used in order to deliver the public services.
Okay, and can you tell me few schemes or few portals that Haryana government and NSE Haryana has developed over the period of time to ensure that the citizen-centric governance is ensured through this?
Sir, specifically in terms of Haryana government's efforts, for agriculture sector, they created a portal, Meri Fasal Mera Byora, under which all the farmers have the details regarding their land, the soil productivity, the soil health card, whatever the information is available, it is provided on that portal. There is a program under which vigilance is provided by the Chief Minister's office itself. It's named as single window system. If I can.
CM window?
CM window, yes.
Okay.
It's also an aspect of e-governance where the grievance redressal mechanism takes place. Apart from that, sir, Haryana government has also introduced e-governance through public distribution system, under which the Aadhaar-based identification of the beneficiaries are made, and the food grains are dispersed accordingly.
Can you recall any of the new initiatives like in last 6 months or 1 year or so?
I'm extremely sorry, sir. I'm unable to recall any specific ones right now.
Okay, it's totally fine. You belong to Cathil.
Yes.
You told about that. So if I am to visit Cathil and you are my tour guide for a day or two, whatever the time period you suggest, as you are the tour guide. So can you tell me few places where I can just wander through and get a gist about what Cathil is about?
Yes, sir. So Cathil, being a urban area in terms of the city as well as the rural backgrounds, because of the villages around, has a rich history, culture. So one of the prime places to visit, I would suggest to you, would be the Navgraha Mandir that was considered to be established by Lord Krishna himself during Mahabharata period. After that, I would suggest you to visit the Bidkyar Lake. That is considered one of the oldest lakes in Haryana. It has cultural as well as religious aspects involved within it. Apart from that, Kathal has a village named Mundri that is considered to be the place where Ramayana was written. So that is one of the spiritual aspect of Kathal that one should always try to visit. Apart from that, the new park spaces as well as the urban development that has taken place in the city itself is also something to be seen and given a consideration to. So these are the few places I would certainly suggest you to visit.
So you mentioned that you like reading books.
Yes, sir.
So which kind of books, like non-fiction or fiction?
Sir, non-fiction.
Okay.
Mostly biographies and autobiographies, and somewhat related to historical things like world wars and all these sort of things.
So Diary of Anne Frank.
And Frank, yes, sir.
Okay. So would you call it an autobiography or a historical book?
I'm really sorry, sir. I am not aware about Anne Frank's diary.
Okay, it's okay. Have you read any of the autobiographies in recent times?
I have been recently reading Ted Sorensen's biography on John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Okay, great. So can you tell me a gist of it if you have completed
Yes,
it?
sir.
If you haven't, then it's okay.
Ted Sorensen being the speechwriter as well as communications director of White House during President Kennedy's regime, he was quite closely related with the president, not only during his presidential time but before that. He went through all the aspects of Kennedy's life right from the beginning of his childhood. He was part of a family that was supposed to be elite of those years. He was born in a rich family, and during the time of his career he served in Second World War for US Navy. He got his back severely damaged because of it, and that was a crucial pain for his entire upcoming life. After that he ran for US Congress, served there, and US Senate from Massachusetts, his home state, and then he got elected to presidency in 1960. So the features of the book specifically revolve around the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs tragedy, the New Frontiers program that Kennedy introduced,
Yes.
his civil rights movement, the response that Kennedy administration had towards it, the new economic program, aid program for the developing countries. Those were the crucial aspects of that biography, and it's quite informative as well.
Okay.
Why he was being killed?
Sir, this theory has never been found out actually, but as far as I can remember, it was just out of a stupidity of some particular individual. There are several theories revolving that it was a political move by Lyndon B. Johnson, the vice president, or the Soviets were involved, Cubans were involved. But as far as I have read about Kennedy and his assassination theories, I think it was somebody who was mentally sick or not able to control his senses, and he killed it out of his own.
Okay. Team player or team leader? You have to choose one. Pick one.
Leading, being a team player.
No, you have to. You don't. You don't
Then
have to be diplomatic about it.
I'll choose team leader parts.
Team leader. Okay. So let me give you a case study, as we call it. Okay. So you are posted as DSP No. Okay. And recently there were some clashes, communal riots or otherwise as well, and you are deputed there as DSP No, and you have a force of 50 to 60 people from different thanas and prabharis and SHOs and every SIs and ASIs. Every rank you name it, you have it. Okay, so you do have that people. So given the situation of the law and order chaos that happened there, and you know that there will be some fringe elements or other elements that might be taking part in this. So, what would be your course of action on say day T-1 that you know it, that it will be happening and you have the force around it? So what will you do?
First of all, sir, I'll make sure that all the deployments are made carefully on all the places. I'll also try to get other security forces from the adjoining districts by communicating with the superintendent as well as the deputy superintendents.
Okay.
I'll
Wait. I corrected you because I have given you all the forces.
You
don't
you-
have yes, everything that you want from Gurgaon. You want Panchkula
Yes,
force
sir.
as well. You have everything.
Then specific deployment in the fringe areas, the areas which are most crucial. Top level of security arrangements will be made so that
How? I'm asking the how.
yes,
of it.
sir. The inspector level of the command, including all the forces under him, will be deployed on the specific chonks or the specific streets that might be considered a threat position. Apart from that, I'll make sure that the internet connectivity, in case would be needed to be stopped, specific arrangements are made with due communication with the telecommunication department. I'll try to myself visit. I'll not try. I'll visit the place. I'll try to make sure that the religious as well as the communal leaders are taken into consideration, confidence, and I'll try to make sure that such incident does not happen. If communication can be made established, I'll try to mediate if there is some clash, and make sure that both the parties or multiple parties which are involved are in a mode of coordination with each other. I'll try to persuade them that violence will never be an option, and administration will use all its power to make sure that the peace and stability, law and order is maintained. And in case it still happens, then deployment of the police will be made sure to use force if necessary, or through communication if possible, so that the masses could disperse and things are in proper law and order situation.
Okay. So, well, as you have mentioned, Rahul, that you are fond of reading, right?
Yes, sir.
That's non-fiction.
Yes.
So, what do you learn by reading non-fiction?
It's a thing, sir. When you read about individuals who have achieved something, sometimes they got good backgrounds which help them, but most of the times they came from very marginal or underprivileged backgrounds, and they still rose in spite of difficulties. So what I learned from them is how challenging those situations were, and how easy sometimes it is for us in our own lives, but still we try to give up. We find alternatives. The things that I learned from these readings is never give up. There is always a scope to improve. There is always a way to become better, and nobody could be perfect, but you could still try to be great. So this is the single most crucial thing that I learned from them.
Okay, so I might say that that these readings influence your personality, develops them,
Yes, sir.
right? Your opinions get influenced by them.
Right, sir.
Okay, so you might also, in other way, can I say that your influence can be easily swayed by the opinions of others?
Reading also provides me the ability to question them as well. Sometimes it's not always right to agree with something that has been written. Critical mindset also gets developed. I have seen that my critical mindset has developed over the time while I have been reading. For example, sir, if you read biography of Gandhiji, he had his own particular opinion about Vedic system of Varna system. And when you read about the biography of B.R. Ambedkar, he had his own opinion. So mindset develops that maybe he was right, maybe he was not right. But you have to develop that equilibrium, the sort of mentality that times change, people change, they have their own circumstances. Now you have to decide who was right based upon your thinking that you have developed. So this is something that I learned from reading.
Okay. So as you have mentioned that Gandhi have a different notion about the caste system and Dr. Ambedkar have a different notion about the caste system. The Gandhi talks about which caste system?
Gandhi had a specific idea about the Vedic caste system based upon Varna system, and he thought that this is a functional system. That's what his perspective was. He believed that it provides a synergy as well as a consensus within society, but he was completely against giving occupation based upon the strict parameters of Varna. He said that the individual should be given authority in order to decide what does he want to do in his life. On the same lines, Ambedkar also believed in a merit-based society, but he was absolutely against giving specific domains or naming, giving a specific territory to this is the individual who belongs to this Varna or that Varna. He was against that altogether, naming a systematic way of division of the people, stratification of the society. So that's the thing that I have learned.
So can we say that Gandhiji was talking about the caste system based on the birth?
Uh, one could argue that, sir. I believe he was talking about that.
He was talking about the same.
Yes, yes.
That once you will get born in any of the Varna, then you will be stay over.
Yes.
Right. And in a binary opposition to that, Dr. Ambedkar was talking about that it is a kind of a multi-story building and
Yes.
it have a lift.
Yes, sir.
That you can frequently
For the
go up and
mobility
down.
within the social
Right.
system.
So, okay, I think so. What Gandhiji was talking about the not the Vedic system of caste system, right? In the post-Vedic period, it get more entangled, but in the previous, that was based on the occupation,
Yes, sir.
right? As you are also a civil service aspirant, so it was clearly written in one of the books in the NCRTs also that the caste system was basically about in the same family there can be 2-3 members and they can opt for the different
Caste.
occupations,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that was particularly Gandhi talking about,
Right.
right? And do you think so that on the communism, the theory of communism got developed from that? Because in communist Russia, you can adopt any of the professions, right? And they will get paid the same.
Yes, sir.
So we can say that.
We can try to say that, sir, because communism itself is quite utopia that could never be achieved, or I don't think it will ever be achieved. But Gandhiji was quite considerably in that aspect that occupation should be individualistic, and that's what maybe communism, not maybe, exactly communism says that there should be equality. I could do fishing in the morning, I could rear animals in the evening. That's what Marx predicted, but it's not possible according to me in any society ever.
Okay. As you have mentioned that one of your hobbies is traveling,
Right.
right? You are fond of traveling.
I love to travel,
Okay.
but because of the studies and all these
Your
things-
obligations.
Yes, sir. I haven't been able, but yeah, I still see blogs and whatever I can.
Okay, so last place you traveled.
It's not that far, but I traveled to Mussoorie.
Mussoorie.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to Labasna.
I went to Labasna individually. My friends were not in favor of it. but
Okay.
I went there.
Okay, so what is the basic difference between a traveler and a tourist?
Tourist, according to me, sir, is somebody who tours around and who visit places regularly, and who has just that adventurous belief to visit places. A traveler is somebody who might travel from this sector to other sector. Traveler is a macro thing. Tourist is a specific domain, according to me, sir.
Okay, and can we, as in Haryana, there are no other sectors developed majorly on the very in the economical terms. Can we promote the ecotourism, and in which parts of Haryana?
Sir, ecotourism is a upcoming, crucial aspect of the industrial development in terms of hospitality. So, ecotourism could be developed around the way national parks. Haryana has 2 national parks, Kalesar as well as Sultanpur, and both these places are quite, attractive place for wildlife loving people, and this has potential to be developed. And there are adjoining places like Himachal. So when tourists visit say more in Himachal or Shimla, they could get easy opportunity to visit the wildlife ecosystem, ecotourism ecosystems in Haryana as well. There is potential for NCR people. There is Sultanpur in the south, and apart from that, there are certain wildlife sanctuaries and old era habitats that are present. For example, in Kathal only, my home district, there is a Saraswati Wildlife Sanctuary in Chika area, and it's not, it has not been that much visited by the by people, but it has got huge ecotourism potential. So that people who visit Chika or Pehwa for spiritual aspects, they could come there. So I think there is a potential opportunity for development.
Okay, so Rahul, my last question to you is that in the past, as you have read this might have read about in depth about the sociology subject. So
Yes, sir.
as the women were central to the life in the past, in the ancient India, in the various spheres of life, social, economic, political, why they got shifted to the peripheral areas over the period of time?
Yes, sir.
What are the prime reasons for this thing?
According to me, sir, the prime reason is the social division of labor started happening, in which there was specific masculinity that was considered, because wars happened in the medieval period as well as in the ancient period after Mauryas and new dynasties. Warfare was given prime importance, and it was considered that women are not that masculine, although that's a wrong thing to perceive. but it was perceived, almost universally. But still, there were women in armies, as we could see in Vijayanagar Empire during the medieval times. And apart from that, the social obligations in family terms as well, because women were considered to give birth, and most of their times were because of the patriarchal mentality of the society. Most of their obligations were to raise children, give them proper nutrition, ensure that food availability is present within the family. So these obligations developed a patriarchal system. Also, the caste considerations that the upper caste women are supposed to wear parda because of the foreign, these things came from foreign side, parda and all. So, and adapted towards with the Indian ecosystem. So I think multiple factors were responsible, and but I'm quite hopeful that with the modernization of the Indian society and new forms of social reforms, primarily seen under Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, things are changing. And today as well, as we have seen 33% reservation for women in the parliament as well as in the state legislatures, there is a huge potential for women workforce to come out and take the stake that they have, the equal stake that they deserve in society.
Okay.
Sir.
One last question to you. RKSD, I am assuming it's RK Sanatan Dharma.
Yeah, right, sir.
Yes. So can you tell me what do you mean about the Sanatan Dharma?
Sir, Sanatan Dharma is considered to be a sub-part of Hindu, because Hindu Dharma is quite varied in terms of its interpretations, as well as the sects, subsects that have developed over time within its fold. Sanatan Dharma was primarily developed during the times of Gupta Empire, in which deities as well as the figures start becoming prominent for spiritual aspect, and the primary importance that was given to yajanas as well as the Vedic traditions of naturalistic spiritualism got a bit less consideration, although they are quite prominent in Sanatan Dharma as well. So I think Sanatan Dharma is a sub part of Hindu mythology, which gives prominence to figures, deities, and it's a crucial part of the Indian society today. And but still, there are different aspects of understanding.
And do you consider yourself as Sanatani?
I am Sanatani, sir. Yes, I do consider myself.
Okay, thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Rahul,
You may leave once.
your interview is over. We'll recall you. Right, sir. After 4-5 minutes, we'll go.
ठीक है, बुलाएगा क्या ये?
इसमें 2-3 मिनट में वैसे ठीक है सर, बेस ठीक है।
ठीक है, नॉलेज बेस तो है ही है, इसका इशू तो कोई भी नहीं है, होना तो है इसमें खैर, क्योंकि
हो जाएगा।
इसकी दिक्कत नो इट ऑल वाली है, इसको लगता है कि इसको सब आता है।
कब होता है?
ये सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत रहती है, लाइक ऑब्वियसली यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू में तो बहुत रिफाइनिंग चाहिए होती है, वही वाला वही मास्टर ऑफ नन वाली बात रह जाती है।
तो ये क्वेश्चन के सब पे जवाब दे रहा था।
हाँ,
जैसे यूपीएससी में होता है ना, सारे क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करके आने हैं,
सारे के सारे। तो इसका अप्रोच जीएस आंसर है, ठीक है, और यहाँ पे ऑप्शन चाहिए होता है।
राइट,
बुला
राहुल। Please. So Rahul, how was your interview according to you?
I think I did good, sir.
Okay. Okay. See Rahul, there are 2-3 basic points. Sir, you will start first.
Okay, first you will get through. हो रहा है,
Thank
ये तो है, ठीक है, that is there. बट एट द सेम टाइम अपने को कॉन्फिडेंस लेके जाना होता है, बचपन में सिखाया जाता है ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं होना हर चीज़ के लिए, ठीक है, चाहे सब कुछ आता हो चाहे नहीं भी आता हो, एंड यू हैव अ टेंडेंसी टू आंसर एवरीथिंग, ठीक है, यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग अ जीएस पेपर, वी वांट ऑप्शन आंसर्स,
Right.
ओके, यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट?
I understand that.
ठीक है,
I'm
GS
giving
में
an intro
सो यू आर गिविंग एवरीथिंग एंड यू ट्राई कि आर्टेमिस के ऊपर अगर क्वेश्चन आ जाए 10 मार्कर का तो मैं लिख के ही आऊँगा, चाहे मुझे नहीं आता है उसके बारे में, ठीक है।
Maybe that's the mentality अभी देख के ही आया हूँ।
हाँ, तो वही या दैट कैन बी एन इशू कि बात नंबर प्रोटोकॉल तुमसे पूछ लिया तो लिखना ही लिखना है, हमें नहीं आता तो नहीं, तब ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है। यू कैन जस्ट से नो टू सम ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस एंड कई बार ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं कि तुम्हें आते हैं बट रिफाइंड आंसर्स नहीं आते हैं हमारे पास, ठीक है। यू हैव टू गिव रिफाइंड आंसर्स, ये तो सबसे पहला टॉप पॉइंट है कि यू हैव टू जस्ट मिनिमाइज, जो तुम टू द पॉइंट जिसको बोलते हैं ना आंसर, जस्ट गिव द टू द पॉइंट क्वेश्चन आंसर जो तुमसे पूछा गया है। पॉइंटर फॉर्मेट में दोगे तो और भी बेटर रहेगा। पॉइंटर फॉर्मेट वाज समवट मिसिंग इन द क्वेश्चन वेयर वी आस्क्ड टू गिव यू few solutions, few questions. You have to give 1, 2, 3. I will do this.
First, second, third.
Yes. You can do that. That will give a structure to your answer. नहीं तो ऐसे वो वाला भी आंसर सही है. There might be people who can like that as well. But to give a particular structure about an answer shows your mindset, your like go-to mindset कि तुम ऐसा चाह रहे हो तो ऐसा होना चाहिए. Okay. Posture uptight है. मतलब ऐसा है कि मैं बता के जाऊँगा सारा का सारा, ठीक है। यू कैन जस्ट लूजन अप हल्का सा, हैंड मूवमेंट भी बिल्कुल अप टाइट ही है, मतलब वही पोस्चर अप टाइट है, तो मतलब यू कैन जस्ट मूव लाइक यू आर सिटिंग, यू कैन जस्ट मूव दिस, यू कैन डू दैट। थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल लगना चाहिए क्योंकि ये कोई इंटरोगेशन नहीं है, राइट। दिस इज अ 1-to-1 कॉन्वर्जेशन, बिहेवियर है, व्यवहार बनाने जा रहे हो वहाँ पर, एज सिंपल एज दैट। तो वहाँ पे बात करने जा रहे हो, बात ही करके आएंगे बस, खाली नहीं रखना है, ओके। एंड रिफाइंड वाला है, एंड यू गेट कैजुअल समटाइम्स, द टाइम इज, मतलब ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ मैं हर एक चीज़ में कैजुअल हो। द पॉइंट इज कि ये लंबे इंटरव्यू होने वाले हैं, ठीक है। ये क्योंकि सिंस एक दिन में बहुत कम इंटरव्यूज है। कब है आपका इंटरव्यू? 9th को, ये पहले दिन ही है, तो पहले दिन इंटरव्यूज हैं, कम लोग हैं, ज़्यादा पैनल्स हैं, कम लोग हैं, तो 2-3 पैनल्स आएंगे सारे दिन में इनके पास में। 4 भी आएंगे तो लंच से पहले, तो लंच के बाद में तो बहुत टाइम है इनके पास पूछने को। दैट्स व्हाई वी वर ड्रैगिंग सम ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज क्योंकि हमें पता है कि वो फटीग जो है ना, इंटरव्यू फटीग जिसको कहते हैं, इंटरोगेशन या क्वेश्चन भी, अनइजीनेस कह लो, कैजुअलनेस कह लो, आखिरी के आंसर्स के अंदर कैजुअल व्हाटएवर आ रहा था, कैजुअल यू नो जो स्टार्टिंग से स्टार्ट हल्का सा हुआ था, मतलब 15 मिनट में जितनी बार यू नो बोला है, उसके बाद हर 5 मिनट के अंदर एक जो यू नो बोला है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, ठीक है। सो वी आर गेटिंग दैट कि देयर माइट बी अ वेरी गुड पॉसिबिलिटी 15 मिनट में तुम सही तरीके से हो जाए, दे विल जज यू, दे विल गिव यू मार्क्स, बट देयर इज अ वेरी गुड पॉसिबिलिटी कि तुम 30 से ऊपर मिनट का इंटरव्यू भी देके आओ, बहुत अच्छी पॉसिबिलिटी। सो जस्ट लाइक इसके लिए तुम ये कह सकते हो, जस्ट लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन तक यू कैन बी इंटरोगेटेड और यू कैन बी आस्क क्वेश्चंस अबाउट इट। अपने घर पे इसको भी बोल दो, यू कैन, दे कैन आस्क यू बैक टू बैक क्वेश्चन, जो कि लंबे भी क्वेश्चन, ठीक है, ओके। ऑल्सो थोड़ा और ओवरवेलमिंग हो जाता है, किसके लिए? तुम्हारे लिए नहीं, हमारे लिए, ठीक है। जो भी यहाँ पे बोर्ड पैनल है वाला ना, यू नो थिंग्स, ठीक है, यू नो योर कंटेंट बेटर, यू आर गिविंग वेरी गुड आंसर्स, यू नो योर कंटेंट बेटर, बहुत सही तरीके से आता है तुम्हारे को। यू हैव गिवन योर मेंस, यूपीएससी वाला भी दिया होगा, पढ़ा लिखा है, बहुत बढ़िया वाला दे के आए हैं, तुम्हें बहुत आता है, बात ये है। पर सामने वालों को ये नहीं लगना चाहिए कि यार मैं उनको थ्रेट नहीं लगना चाहिए कि भाई ये मेरा इंटरव्यू तो नहीं ले रहा है, ऐसा तो नहीं लगना चाहिए, ठीक है।
कुछ पॉइंट पे ऐसा भी होना चाहिए दैट दे शुड हैव द लास्ट लाफ।
यस, दे शुड हैव द लास्ट लाफ, कुछ नहीं, सभी में दे शुड हैव द लास्ट लाफ, दे आर द वन, दे हैव गिवन यू द अपॉर्चुनिटी, यस, दे हैव गिवन यू द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू कम हियर, टू सिट बिफोर देम, टू गिव द आंसर्स, सब कुछ है। सो यू हैव टू जस्ट शो कि भाई थोड़ा तो नहीं भी पता है मुझे। देयर माइट बी क्वेश्चन जो कि तुम्हारे को ऐसा है कि तुम्हारा अच्छा जा रहा है इंटरव्यू, बट देयर माइट बी क्वेश्चंस कि जो तुम्हारे को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से नहीं आते हैं, और हाँ, फैक्चुअल तो गोज विदाउट सेइंग कि तुम्हारे को आंसर नहीं करना है अगर तुम्हें नहीं पता है तो, एज सिंपल एज दैट। जैसे एन फ्रैंक का तुमसे पूछा, तुम्हें नहीं पता था, यू बिल्कुल बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से आंसर दिया, 2 या 3 ओकेजन में और भी, जो तुम्हें नहीं पता है तुम क्लियर हो उसके मामले में, ठीक है, ये नहीं बता रहा मैं, ठीक है। हॉबीज, यू आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड, सिचुएशनल, तुम्हारी केस स्टडीज आर वेरी वेल justified. Just one thing, that you have to take care of the hierarchies, ठीक है। वी आर नॉट राइटिंग एथिक्स का आंसर, 20 मार्क्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं अपने को। हमारे को जानना है कि अगर इंटरनेट कनेक्शन बंद होना है तो वो होम डिपार्टमेंट में से होगा, और वो भी यहाँ के HCS से होगा, HCS से होगा, यहाँ जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी लेवल से होगा। सो एज अ DSP नो, you can't do that, you have to be clear about the hierarchies, yes, you have to be clear about the hierarchies, do what you can do, that तुमने बताया कि अगर डंडे का प्रयोग करना पड़ा तो वो भी हम करेंगे, एंड एट द सेम टाइम मेरे को जो भी मेरे को स्टाफ मिला है उनको मोबिलाइज किया जाएगा, आसपास के जितने लोग हैं उनको हेल्प किया जाएगा, दिस ये तुम्हारे हाथ में है। बट वो जो जैसे तुमने 3 या 4 पॉइंट बताए, 4 पॉइंट्स में से 1 या 2 ऐसे थे जो कि हायरार्की डिफाई कर रहे हैं कि अपने आप में कि मैं ये कर दूंगा, तो
सुपीरियरिटी
वो सिंघम नहीं हो तुम,
Yes.
सीधी सी बात है। तुम एक डीएसपी हो, नॉर्मल हो, डीएसपी भी नॉर्मल ही पोस्ट है, इतना वो बहुत ज़्यादा तोप नहीं बना रहे। एसडीएम भी हम बहुत ज़्यादा ऊपर नहीं जा रहे हैं।
Yes, sir.
इवन आईएएस भी जब तुम नए नए बनते हो तब वो भी एसडीएम पहले 5 साल वही काम कर रहे हैं
Yes,
सारे के सारे। सो वी आर जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ सिस्टम, हल्का सा छोटा सिस्टम है,
Yes.
ठीक है। जस्ट टेक केयर ऑफ द हायरार्कीज। ऑल्सो हाँ, देर आर सम क्वेश्चन इन विच यू हैव वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग ओपिनियंस, ठीक है, तो डोंट लेट देम रिफ्लेक्ट in your answers. You have very strong opinions about say Gandhi and Ambedkar वाला क्वेश्चन था,
Yes,
so
sir.
you talked about that at length. And there might be some question जिसमें जैसे सर ने मेंशन किया इंटेंशनली था कि उन्होंने गांधी यूज़ किया, गांधी जी ने यूज़ किया,
Yes, sir.
so ये कुछ भी करें,
Yes, sir.
कुछ भी करें,
Yes, sir.
you have to mention गांधी जी,
Yes, sir.
okay, this is one of the,
Respectful.
हाँ, you have to be like, ऐसा है कि जो ये बोल रहे हैं ये they can be very casual about
Yes,
it,
sir.
इनका इंटरव्यू नहीं, इनके नंबर नहीं आना, इनको
Yes,
नौकरी नहीं
sir.
मिल रही,
Yes, sir.
they are members
Yes, sir.
already हो रखा है, you have to get the नौकरी,
Right.
ठीक है, सब कुछ तुम्हारा होना है, बाकी सर बता देंगे।
बाकी राहुल सर ने बता दिया ऑलमोस्ट मेन पॉइंट्स। एक्चुअली जब आप बताएंगे अपने जो आपकी हॉबीज़ हैं, तो मेरे हिसाब से आप 1-2 पे ही रखना उसको,
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना। आपने
Just
बहुत सारी
reading.
ट्रैवलिंग, वॉचिंग टीवी सीरीज, जिमिंग, रनिंग, नॉन फिक्शनल।
वो सर एक्चुअली वो स्पेस था तो है जस्ट।
अच्छा नहीं, मतलब एक्चुअली पता क्या है, वो ना बाल की गाल खींचेंगे
यस सर।
और उनको फंसाना ही फंसाना है आपको,
यस सर।
ठीक है ना। तो आप जैसे सर ने बोला कि जैसे मेरे को कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछना था आपसे गांधी जी के बारे में या कुछ भी, बट
वो मैंने ही निकाल के
वो
दिया।
आपने निकाल के दिया,
Yes,
तो
yes.
वो और एक्चुअली हम तो थोड़ा नहीं पूछ सकते हैं कंट्रोवर्शियल, दे माइट आस्क यू द कंट्रोवर्शियल, दे वांट टू सी।
दे कैन वो सनातनी धर्म के ऊपर ना
हाँ,
उसका आधा घंटा बात कर सकते हो तुमसे और कुछ भी नहीं बात करेंगे।
खाप एंड ऑल ये सब।
हाँ।
हाँ, they can do that.
और actually
they
पता
do
क्या-
that. They
हाँ,
can नहीं, they do that.
हाँ, और आपको पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट आंसर्स बोलने पड़ेंगे,
Yes,
चाहे
sir.
आपके पर्सनल ओपिनियंस जो मर्जी हो,
Balanced.
ठीक है ना। तो आपको बोलने पड़ेंगे, तो वो आपको फंसाएंगे।
Yes, sir.
तो अगर उनको आपको उनके लीनियज नहीं पता ना, वो राइटिस्ट हैं, लेफ्टिस्ट
Yes,
हैं,
sir.
क्या है, वो
Yes,
सेंट्रिस्ट
yes,
हैं।
yes.
अगर
I
आप
should be an administrator.
हाँ,
Yes, yes.
ठीक है ना, द गवर्नमेंट इज ऑलवेज राइट, ठीक है, जो काम हो रहा है वो बढ़िया हो रहा है।
That I try to do in UCC. That it is the
Yes, yes,
need of
हाँ,
the-
हाँ।
That's what I'm saying ना, UCC was starting का क्वेश्चन,
Yes,
तीसरा
sir.
चौथा क्वेश्चन था,
Yes,
ठीक
sir.
है। बाय द एंड आते आते बहुत फटीग आ जाता है,
Yes,
इंटरव्यू
sir.
फटीग, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग
Right,
अबाउट।
right.
आखिरी के सवालों में ना वो थक जाओगे
Absolutely.
वहाँ पे, एंड यू माइट कम आउट एज वेरी कैजुअल और वेरी लैक अबाउट द थिंग्स कि तुम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर तो नहीं हो,
Yes, sir.
वैसे वाला नहीं। इंटीग्रिटी इज द वर्ड, वही है, पहले में मेंटेन कर रहे हो, आखिरी में मेंटेन कर रहे हो, आराम से करो। एंड दिस जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि बीच में तुम आंसर नहीं दो,
Yes.
हर आंसर दे रहे हो, एनर्जी जा रही है,
हाँ.
ठीक है।
उसकी
दो
वजह
आंसर
से
नहीं,
भी मैं कंफर्ट जोन में जाने की कोशिश कर रहा है,
Yes.
मेरा माइंड जाने की कोशिश
Yes, yes,
कर
yes.
रहा है।
तुम हर क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे रहे हो, तुम्हारी एनर्जी हर सवाल के ऊपर जा रही है, तुम 2 सवाल छोड़ दोगे तो बात के लिए बच जाएगा।
Yes.
इट्स लाइक
Maintaining
सिक्योरिंग योर गैस,
Yes.
आखिरी तक तुम्हारी पेट्रोल बचा होगा गाड़ी निकालने के लिए,
Right, sir.
ठीक है। बाकी एनीथिंग यू वांट टू आस्क?
Sir, one thing, if they would ask me that जैसे सर ने पूछा, why did you chose civil services instead of engineering or career in that, is my answer fine?
एक्चुअली उसको मुझे लगा आपको थोड़ा सा जस्टिफाई करना पड़ेगा,
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना। जैसे सब बोल देते हैं डैड यू वांट टू सर्व द नेशन,
सब द बिगर गुड लार्जर गुड, हां सबने सुना होगा,
ठीक है ना?
उन्होंने भी सुना होगा, रोज ले रहे हैं।
तो आप ये बोल सकते हो कि दैट इट्स अ ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी टू ग्रो ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। सर आई विल एक्यूमुलेट द नॉलेज ओवर हियर, और मेरे को एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसे काम करता है पता लग जाएगा।
Yes, sir.
आई विल यूज दिस नॉलेज कि मैं अल्टीमेटली सर्व करूँगा गवर्नमेंट को,
Right, sir.
ठीक है ना। और सर दूसरी बात ये आप ये बोल सकते हैं कि that also I at this point of time also I need some kind of a job security, right?
Yes, sir.
It's very important for me,
Yes.
क्योंकि ये it is the need of the
Yes, it
hour,
is the need
right?
of the hour.
तो ये मतलब
It's
बिल्कुल
a good career.
हाँ.
It is something that uses my abilities and
ऑल्सो द बैक, उसके जस्ट बाद मैंने क्वेश्चन क्या पूछा था, ई गवर्नेंस का,
E-governance.
कि सिंस सरकार ही इतना ज़्यादा काम कर रही है तो मेरे को जो मेरा डोमेन की स्पेशलिटी है दैट विल वर्क ऑब्वियसली,
Yes, sir,
वी कैन ऑलवेज डू
my,
दैट।
I could use my technological abilities, not completely, but my
Yes, you can always do that. People यहाँ पे सभी डिपार्टमेंट्स की चाहिए हैं,
Yes, sir.
हमारे इंजीनियर्स हैं, हमारे को
तभी वो एग्जाम्स भी ऐसे डिजाइन कर रहे हैं।
Yes, yes, they are designing that.
and this is the 21st century, right? Fourth industrial revolution
Yes.
is going on, and it's all about the data,
Yes, sir.
you know, and you have a some kind of expertise over it,
Yes.
so you can say
This is a
that
good point, sir.
हाँ,
Fourth industrial
कि
revolution.
सर मेरे को पता है और मैं
Bureaucracy itself
Yes.
needs people who are from technology.
हाँ, और आप बोल सकते हो कि सर as the biggest problem in our government is the government have a limited resources.
Yes, sir.
The problem is with the implementation, right?
Yes, sir.
As also that Rajiv Gandhi said that for every 1 rupee that 25 paise
Ten,
is going,
yes,
right?
Yes.
तो उन्होंने भी ऐसे बोला, तो आप ये बोल सकते हो कि सर जब हम लोग ऐसे एफिशिएंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आएंगे, ठीक है ना, गवर्नमेंट के पास उतने रिसोर्सेज रहेंगे, तो हम उसको जितने रिसोर्सेज लीकेज हो रही है उसको कम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना, इफेक्टिव यूटिलाइजेशन कर सकते हैं। तो सर वो नॉलेज मैं यहाँ यूज़ करूँगा और मतलब ऐसे आप इसको फ्रेम कर सकते हैं। मैकेनिकल आंसर दोगे तो यार
वो सेट पैटर्न है, वो काफी बार
और भी होंगे,
रोज सुना हो, वो जस्ट आपसे जस्ट पहले 2 मार्क 2 बंदे पहले बोल के गए हैं, वो भी यही आंसर देंगे,
ठीक है ना। इट विल गिव यू अ सेंस ऑफ जॉब, सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी, बहुत मतलब ये तो है ही ऑब्वियसली सब कुछ।
हां, दिस शुड बी मेंशन्ड।
हां,
एक दो चीज़ें यू कैन डू इज हरियाणा का जो सीएमओ वाला पेज है, ट्विटर वाला हैंडल है अदरवाइज है, उसके ऊपर न्यू स्कीम्स जो भी हैं, यू आर नॉट अपडेटेड अबाउट हरियाणा जी एक साल वाला
टू राइट द 7-8 स्कीम्स।
हाँ, 7-8 स्कीम क्या क्या हैं, 2-3 पोर्टल जिन्होंने बनाए, क्षतिपूर्ति एंड एवरीथिंग सब कुछ बनाया, स्वामित्व के ऊपर डू दैट। सेकंड, ईसीई के अंदर कोई टॉपिक आपका बहुत स्ट्रांग है?
सर ऑलमोस्ट अगर वो स्ट्रांग होता तो मैं यहाँ नहीं आता।
नहीं, आई नो दैट, आई डू नो दैट। अपने को पता है, हम भी सिविल इंजीनियर थे, हमारे को भी उस टाइम पे नहीं पता था, बात ये थी। बट
आई हैव अ गुड आइडिया अबाउट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस।
You can just quote that, क्योंकि they might ask you point blank कि आपका ECE है, तो अच्छा आप कौन से पार्ट में ECE में अच्छा है, कोई सब्जेक्ट है उसके ऊपर they can ask you
या कुछ भी,
they can ask you।
Because of my preparation in civils, I have got to learn more about AI, so how it can be used।
बेसिकली तो आपके पास
जो भी आप प्रोवाइड करोगे उसके ऊपर बैक टू बैक 3 या 4 क्वेश्चंस आएंगे,
and if I use the thing I know already, then it will be beneficial।
yes
all right sir। Apart from that, I don't have any other doubts, so I hope I'm doing
of
good।
course you will go through it, don't worry,
you will do fine, you will get through।
And
पता है, हमें भी पता है।
और लास्ट में एक मेरा
you have the idea sir कि जो 61 select हुए हैं जैसे and 100 seats हैं, all will be selected?
नहीं ऐसा नहीं होगा।
इंटरव्यू का भी
बाइफरकेशन है ना।
ओके,
इंटरव्यूज में मिनिमम मार्क्स भी हैं, दूसरा ये
इंटरव्यू
है
में मिनिमम
कि
मार्क्स
हाउ
है,
मेनी
कैटेगरीज का भी अलग
है, कितने किससे सिलेक्ट हुए हैं, जॉब वाइज कितनी सिलेक्शन है, कितनी कट
सारे
ऑफ।
61 नहीं होंगे।
हाँ नहीं सारे नहीं
सारे तो
कैसे
नहीं होंगे।
फिर इंटरव्यूज लेने का क्या मतलब है?
क्योंकि उसमें ये था ना, आई थॉट कि इंटरव्यू वाज टू फाइंड आउट द एक्चुअल रैंक, ये इंटरव्यू के मार्क्स ऐड होके ही रैंक में।
yes
बट नोटिफिकेशन में और जनरली भी देयर इज नो मेंशन ऑफ मिनिमम मार्क्स इन इंटरव्यू, सो दैट वाज
नहीं होते हैं इंटरव्यू में।
There is no mention about it, but they can create
They-
anything.
HPC can do
Out
anything.
of thin air, they can create anything.
Yes, HPC can do anything without any reason or without any even
Yes.
letting us know।
It's like lucky for you and other 60 people who are on this side of the line.
Yes, sir।
ये वाले सारे इसलिए परेशान हैं क्योंकि this has become very random
Yes sir।
altogether, and this can become random at this stage as well.
Yes, sir।
What's stopping?
हाँ, nobody can stop them। That's
Exactly।
why I'm thinking कि what would happen, but my job is to do a good interview।
Yeah।
That's
Do good,
It's a part of the
get
process।
40-45 plus marks, and you will be through. That's it, and you will be through.
Don't worry,
It's
all the
not a
best।
question of
हाँ,
why or
How, why?
नहीं हो रहा है तो
of course हो जाएगा, don't
will be
worry,
fine।
ठीक है ना।
Thank you sir।
Okay,
Have a
all
great
the
day,
best।
sir।
Okay।
Thanks।
Thank you, Rahul।